You're listening to The Credit Pros on Real Estate Radio New Jersey with local credit experts Damon DiCrescenzo and attorney Jason Kaplan. Now, here's Jason and Damon.
Welcome back to The Credit Pros on Real Estate Radio Network. I'm Jason Kaplan with my co-host Damon DiCrescenzo. We're kicking collection companies' butts, taking some names, settling debt. And we have a special guest here in the studio. Damon, why don't you introduce our special guest?
I'd love to. It's really important these days to get some quality information on the opportunity. We told you before the break that we were going to give you some information to make more money this year in real estate than you ever have before, or perhaps get your family into a home this year that's at a better price than ever. And who better to be able to get you that information than a specialist in this? So I'm very fortunate to have in the studio with us Aaron Fragnito from Equity One. Aaron's a licensed realtor, real estate agent in New Jersey. And thank you very much for coming on the show today.
Good morning, Vietnam. My name's Aaron. Good to be here. I focus on finding properties at a good price, work with a lot of homeowners that are trying to sell their property for the best price and buyers that are trying to buy at a good price. And there's a ton of ways to find opportunities out there, and the market is really filled with it.
So here we go. It's the perfect storm for home buyers. And we talk about sometimes when things just come together to give you an opportunity that's never been presented before, that you're probably never going to see again. And that opportunity exists in buying property that perhaps is distressed, and buying property with interest rates as low as they've ever been. So let's start at the beginning. So let's say somebody wants to buy a short sale. Why don't we explain to them, please, what is a short sale? What is it, and what do our people need to know?
A short sale is when a homeowner owes more money to the bank than their house is worth. They also show that they can not keep up with the payments or fall behind a certain time, or they have to move due to a job relocation or any other serious matter. And in that situation, the bank usually allows a discount on their mortgage upon an offer, and of course, negotiating down the loans on the property.
So the person who needs to get out of the house gets out of the house, and the opportunity for you, the buyer, is that you're getting in perhaps, we know for certain, than less than what the last person bought it for, and perhaps even a bit under market, getting you a really awesome deal. So there are a couple of other opportunities out there for the buyer, right? If you watch the television commercials, there's REOs, there's short sales. What's the difference between an REO and a short sale?
What is an REO?
Good question. What is an REO?
An REO is a real estate owned property. It's when the bank actually takes the property back. It's what happens past the point of a short sale. It's after a foreclosure. And in that situation, the properties tend to be a little more beat up, but you can also buy them at quite a discount. Banks usually prefer to do short sales because they have to pay an attorney about $20,000 to $40,000 to foreclose on a property. Now it's more beat up and it's worth less, and they have to hire a realtor to sell it, and it just does not get the amount of money back that a short sale will. So banks really do allow quite a discount on these short sales.
But it also helps to understand the difference between the two. If you're a handy person, or if you're really looking for the most rock bottom value, then an REO might be right for you. So making sure that you're working with a really great real estate agent who understands how to prove, and make sure that they can get you the deals that you need. But a short sale involves a negotiation. In most cases, who handles the negotiation in a short sale?
Generally, the listing agent will handle the negotiations, or he'll hire a mitigator. It really depends on the agent. There's a few ways to do it. Sometimes you can even have an attorney do it for you. In my short sales, I have a mitigator that handles it very well. He's very seasoned and good at what he does, and I'm good at finding the opportunities. He's good at negotiating with the bank and continuing to follow up. And with the right network in place and the right people doing the job that they're best at, we really get these done quickly and efficiently.
That's Equity One. Equity One's been doing that, right? Mm-hmm. We'll talk about Equity One in a minute, but let's talk about, and I know that my listeners want to know this, how can we use this information, this current market, to make more money? How can we find a short sale at the lowest price, perhaps to stick my family in, perhaps to fix and flip? How do we do it?
Well, the first thing you want to do is really narrow down the area you want to be in and the price you're looking to spend. But you want to make sure that you're doing the most efficient job you can do. Let me explain the whole process. First, when you find a short sale, you put an offer into the bank, you collect the seller's financial documents, and you're building a case for the seller and showing why the bank should allow a discount on their mortgage. Then the bank sends out an appraiser or a BPO agent. BPO agent is a broker's price opinion. That's what that stands for. And at this point, that's really where you win or lose the short sale. Because some of these appraisers or BPO agents aren't even from the area and don't have a very good grasp on exactly what the property's worth. They do a lot of BPOs or appraisals in a day, and it can be tough to really hit the nail on the head with that price. And so you want to make sure that your listing agent meets the BPO agent there and is able to get that BPO to come out at a fair, accurate price so that the whole deal does not go off. And then depending on the mortgage, for example, if the homeowner has a conventional mortgage on the property, the bank will usually allow a selling price of 85% of the BPO or appraised price.
So all that's got to be in line, man. Mm-hmm. All of it needs to be in line to save you money. And at the end of the day, if you're listening to this and you're thinking about saving money on one of these homes, you better have somebody who knows what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Because these processes that you're going to go through in buying a short sale and finding a short sale, if you're working with someone that's not experienced, you're going to wind up losing money. It's as simple as that.
And losing your hair.
Because the process it can be a hairy process. It'll be a nightmare. It can be a nightmare. From start to finish, the banks are not easy to work with. And if you don't have a system in place, then you can really wind up pulling your hair out. If you're in New Jersey and you've been thinking about selling your house, maybe you want to get rid of it faster. Through the short sale process, perhaps you can walk away and get it done quickly. I think that maybe you should pick up the phone and call Aaron. I think maybe you'd like to speak with him. His number is 908-625-0264.
Whoa, slow down. What's that number, Damon?
908-625-0264. One thing I wanted to mention, and I think that short sales, although things go in cycles, agreed, things go in cycles. Short sales 20 years ago, 15 years ago were the thing, and 20 years before that, I'm sure were the thing, and that's the way that things go. I think in order to do these kind of transactions, in order to find them, in order to go through the process, you need to think on your feet. I like the fact that you're a young man, Aaron. Like myself, you remind me of a lot like me when I was a kid.
Got to keep hustling.
Got to keep hustling. The benefit of working with, I think, with someone who's young is that you put things in a different kind of perspective than, say, for example, a 60-year-old grizzled veteran that's used to working the system they work in. Because this is not the same system. This is not the same market. This is a new market that people are in, and they need to be prepared to work with somebody who has a fresh take on things. The Zuckerberg theory, right? We talked about it before.
Exactly.
Facebook is successful because it brought a new perspective, not one that a 60-year-old CEO could have brought, rather one that a 23-year-old CEO brings. I think that you bring that same perspective to the kind of work that you're doing, and I think that that's very refreshing.
Thank you, Damon. Yeah, actually, I've invested a lot of money and time in learning short sales. They are rather new to the industry, and they could be a bit complicated. There's certainly extra steps involved, but it's where the market is with the recent decrease in prices. And really, the statistics show that about, I believe it's 4 out of 5 houses would be underwater, in the last year, and prices are getting a little better, but you got to know short sales to be a realtor in this market.
And somewhat of a credit perspective, a short sale, as opposed to just letting the house go with a foreclosure, it doesn't damage your credit as much. So if you were just to wipe your hands clean and walk away, you're going to be in a lot worse situation than if you did a short sale. Plus, there's things called deficiency judgment. So typically, if you have a foreclosure, you're responsible for the money that wasn't paid on the courthouse steps. Where on a short sale, usually you can write off that amount of money that the bank lost. And on occasion, I think you have to pay some income taxes on it based upon like an income tax savings.
That's good information. That's real information that people need to know. If you're just joining us, you're listening to the Credit Pros on Real Estate Radio Network, New Jersey. give us a call on our off-air line. We're happy to speak to you about real estate, about credit, or if you want to pick Mr. Kaplan's brain about your credit problems. Call us at 973-771-5118. Again, 973-771-5118, or on the web at creditrepair.to.
And you can actually email us also, because we take emails during the show, and our email address is info at creditrepair.to.
And we'd look forward to speaking with you. Let's get back to short sales for a sec, because this is the way that you, our listener, you're going to make money this year. Because I see personally a huge opportunity of buying these distressed properties, maybe fixing them, maybe not, renting them, getting them cash flow positive, and as this market continues to increase in value, maybe getting out of them. One thing is for certain, the New York, New Jersey market is different than, we talked about this before, is different than every other market in this country. Because New York is the hub of finance, there will always be in the outskirts of it a need for housing. And as that as the economy grows, we see that effect here. So the housing prices dipped in our area. They dipped in Florida a lot more than our area because the demand continues to be here. If you're a real estate investor, if you're thinking about making some money and you're hearing this, then it makes good sense to pick up the phone and think about getting in touch with Aaron, making that move and putting more money in your pocket this year. You can call him directly as well. His number is 908-625-0264. I'm going to say that again in case you didn't write it down. It's 908-625-0264. One of the things that I wanted to ask you about is the idea that short sales take a long time. They could take a long time. How do you guys get them done? And I expect you try to get them quickly. What processes have you implemented to try to get these done a bit quicker?
Well, the first thing is that a lot of realtors do wrong is you don't want a short sale to sit on the open market for months and months, because every time you miss a credit payment, that's what hurts your credit score. Most of the time, a short sale, if done correctly, will be labeled as paid as agreed with the final paperwork, and the debt will be shown as paid off in your credit history.
Let me express how important it is to work with someone who knows what they're talking about, because there are too many realtors out there that are working short sales for you, the client, that are not negotiating these things properly. Mm-hmm. And the end result is damaged credit. You very well can get out of the damage that's going to happen, and maybe even get out of the money that's owed, maybe even get out of the tax consequence if you have a skilled negotiator working on your behalf.
Collection, bad. Paid collection, bad. Right. Settled debt, bad. Paid as agreed.
Good. That's right. Very good. Good point.
Absolutely. And when I do come across a client who needs a short sale done, which I said is very often in this market, I work with people that buy short sales. So we're able to procure an offer usually within about 7 days on the property and get the ball rolling on the short sale.
Nice. 7 days. So in and out.
Exactly. Just enough time for the seller to collect their paperwork and get everything together so we can get that packet into the bank and get the appraiser out there so we can really get that short sale moving forward.
And the idea is you got to get a buyer, because if you don't have a buyer, if you're thinking about the short sale process and you're thinking that you can go through it on your own, you certainly can. But there's a reason why people work with realtors, because if you don't have a buyer on the other end of your deal, you're spinning your wheels. What are some of the good areas that you feel in New Jersey that people should be considering investing in, that they should be thinking about buying in to make money this coming year?
Well, it really depends what you're trying to buy. If you're looking at multifamily homes, I really like Jersey City, Newark, because the taxes. I know when some people say, I don't want to buy Newark, but Newark has some really nice areas and incredible taxes you're not going to find anywhere else in New Jersey. On top of that, there's a lot of renters, and the prices are great. I like Jersey City because it's close to Hoboken, and we all saw what happened to Hoboken in the last 10 years. It's practically almost up to where Manhattan prices are. I think you missed the boat on Hoboken, but there's still areas you can get in on.
I think Newark's a great opportunity. Mm-hmm. As our listeners know, Jason and I, we work in Newark. Our office is downtown Newark. Mm-hmm. We enjoy it very much and see the prospect of that area. And we know that they have a mayor that's willing to go to bat to get money into the city, to get business into the city. And I think that it really has a lot of potential and a lot of upcoming areas.
If I can make one more comment, too. I like Glassboro, Rowan University. No one really... I think it's a growing university. I'm not just saying that because I went there, but I think that area should certainly improve in prices.
Right. So, and what happens when you buy a rental property around a university? You can pretty much guarantee you're going to have somebody renting it.
I went to University of Maryland College Park, and they had, at the time, years ago, they had 2 rental buildings. That's it, for a campus of like 30,000 people. They had these 2 big buildings. It was called the Knox Towers, Tower A and Tower B. The biggest pieces of crap I've ever been to in my entire life. I've never lived in an apartment so disgusting. There were cockroaches, old kitchens, bathrooms, gross. You know what my parents used to pay in rent and people pay? It's incredible because you got to live somewhere.
So it's important then to think about buying in those areas because you know you'll always have a renter. That's super important. Knowing that cash flow, you really don't have to worry about that it will continue to come in. I want you to stick around after the break. We have some credit true or false, and more importantly, some questions from our listeners regarding short sales. And I think that one person hit the nail on the head. And when we go through this question, I think that you're going to understand why we're going to see that this is the year for you making money in the short sale process. But stick around after the break. You're listening to the Credit Pros on Real Estate Radio Network, New Jersey. Call us on our off-air line. We'd love to speak with you. Our number is 973-771-5118. Again, 973-771-5118. Or on the web at creditrepair.to. Stick around.
For all your credit problems, concerns, or questions, call the show's off-air number at 973-771-5118 and speak to the hosts of the show, Damon DiCrescenzo and attorney Jason Kaplan, directly. 973-771-5118. This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us. The Credit Pros on Real Estate Radio New Jersey is hosted by local credit and finance experts Damon DiCrescenzo and attorney Jason Kaplan. The purpose of the show is to help consumers understand what's really going on with their credit. They're teaching you the why and the how-to, so you'll always be one step ahead of everyone else. If you are having problems qualifying for a purchase or you're tired of high interest rates because of bad credit, Jason Kaplan can help. Call Jason directly at 973-771-5118. That's 973-771-5118. Take advantage of speaking with Jason anytime you're having a credit problem. Having someone who can answer all of your questions that truly cares about you and your family's best interest is priceless. Call Jason Kaplan and the Credit Pros today, and you'll be glad you did. 973-771-5118. That's 973-771-5118, or you can visit creditrepair.to for more info. For all your credit problems, concerns, or questions, call the show's off-air number at 973-771-5118 and speak to the hosts of the show, Damon DiCrescenzo and attorney Jason Kaplan, directly. 973-771-5118.